you. I love your hair.
So I'm gonna go out of Facebook now, and so come over to Instagram with us, and you can ask us your questions because we've got some questions we're gonna answer tonight. All right, see you over there. Bye.
I guess that said it all, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, what's up, guys, girls, ladies, gents, people? More questions. What color panties you got on? Not that shit again. Now, I did in mine. I asked for respectful questions. Did you forget to ask for them to be respectful?
Yeah.
Yeah. You forgot to ask about the respect part. Hi, Brendan and Eric. I'm here, and that's all that matters.
We're not interested in answering questions about us personally, unless it's something that could help you.
Or unless it has to do with TV, because I will be happy to share my knowledge of television with you.
Well, I'm going to ask you that question.
Oh, are you? Ask me.
So, Karen, I hear you've got something kind of exciting going on in the TV world. What's happening?
Oh, that TV. I was not even thinking of that. Well, right now we're in the process of making our podcast into a TV show. So if any of you haven't already heard, I do a podcast called Sex Talk with My Mom. Go check it out and get ready for some TV. But that's still in the works. It's going to be a while. So I was more referring to I've been watching a lot of different shows on Netflix. What's your favorite TV? Okay. Oh, what's your favorite TV theme song? That's a tough question.
I got so hooked on the Game of Thrones theme song. When it would come on, I would just get so excited.
Yeah,
I want to watch the whole intro because that was so powerful.
You know what? You're right. That's a good one. I like the Boardwalk Empires. That was a good one too. When he's on the beach. Well, it was about Prohibition. Boardwalk Empire. That was a good theme song. Eric asks him, how the heck are you doing? I'm doing great. Eric J asks, favorite all-time show? Wow. I mean, you're still glitching, by the way. Miss Glitcher over here.
I'm not on any social media, so let me just get off of my internet here.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go out of.
In the meantime, I'm going to think about this question. This question is a good one. I mean, all-time favorite show. I guess I hate to be cliche, but I have to say Breaking Bad, maybe.
Yeah, I don't have an all-time favorite. I don't
or
have
The Sopranos. I mean,
anything.
How about The Sopranos?
I never watched that.
Oh,
I know.
I think you should watch it. There's a good hot sex scene that goes on between a psychiatrist and a character that I don't want to say. What can I do? Well, what can I go to meet some cougars during the pandemic? I'm so desperate to meet some women. Well, that's a question. What can you do during the pandemic? It is actually, I think, a really good time to meet people because there's no pressure sexually or physically to do anything. Just getting to know the person as a friend. So that's what I would do. I would try to meet women in an online way or in person if you happen to have a mask on or whatever. What do you think? Is there any way that they can?
Yeah, I think do some Zooming.
Zoom it.
Meet people on Zoom where you actually get to see each other and look each other in the eye, and have some conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, that can, and you can, if it starts to heat up, geez, you can get really provocative on Zoom.
By starting to take your clothes off.
You don't have to. I think you can, right? There's no rules on Zoom. You can't make it, is there?
On Zoom, I don't know. But on I don't know, other platforms possibly, like FaceTime, no. I know you don't have to worry about that on FaceTime. But yeah, like I was in a long distance relationship with my boyfriend for several years, and we had to make do with not seeing each other very often. So it was kind of fun to not, have any kind of physical contact, but yet you can always do a mental contact. You can still do, and that's the way a lot of people see it.
That works really well.
If you're a what?
Sapiosexual.
If you're a sapiosexual. If you love all mankind? What's the
sapio is brain sex.
If you're into brain sex.
You get turned on by the mind and getting, deep, meaningful conversation. Doesn't even have to be about sex, but if it just that kind of stuff turns you on, that you're a sapiosexual.
All right. We got a lot of questions here, by the way. Are you a sapiosexual? Okay. No. Someone just asked something similar. Is it possible to be in love with two women? I think, Kevin, yes. Oh, jinx. I think it's possible. It depends on also your definition of love, I guess.
Yeah.
You definitely can be in lust with more than one woman. That's for damn sure.
I think the poly community is definitely open to people up to the idea that you can be really in love with more than one person. When you think about it, if you have more than one child, love just one and the others are like, okay.
Well,
but I think every parent fears that when they have their first child.
Yeah, that you might love one.
How could I ever love another?
Yeah, and then the other one comes in and like, I easily could do this. It is true.
Right. So I think the human heart and love capacity is absolutely endless.
Now you hear that?
How much
endless?
How much energy you have? How much time you have to put into relationships?
That's true too.
A whole different concept.
Yeah. So if you are in love with two people, that requires that's like double the amount of effort on your part. If you want to keep them both happy.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
Another question. No, I'm just filtering some of these. More like comments on the Big Bang Theory and hello, and I tried to find my cougar and
thank you, Bryson.
I'm in love with both myself and Karen. Eric, I'm glad to hear that you're in love with yourself. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. So that's very, very, Eric, I know you're being funny, but the truth of the matter is you do have to love yourself first, right? Is the doctor a cougar as well? Confident, yes. Older, yes. Unique, yes. Genuine, of course. Assertive, yes. And racy, oh yeah. Okay.
I guess I qualify.
She qualifies as the queen cougar there. Okay. What other questions did you guys? I haven't looked here. Have you looked over here on the Instagram feed? Thank you, Bryson, for the compliments. And we appreciate it.
I was thinking.
So what are your favorite TV shows to watch during this? And or what are your favorite football teams? And or what are your favorite books to read? And or who are you voting for?
Oh. All right. Well, I want everybody to grade, like the normal school grades, A through F. Grade the debate.
No, grade the behavior on the debate by one person in particular that was very obnoxious.
Okay, let's
if our president,
all three people, great.
Okay.
Trump, Biden,
and the announcer and the moderator. Now, for one thing, I think both the moderator and Biden did the best that they possibly could under the circumstances.
Totally. I have to agree.
So, I mean, now as far as our dear president and the way he behaved, if he was one of my kids, he'd be put in a big timeout.
I don't believe in spanking, but I'd have spanked the crap out of him.
You would have spanked him. Did you hear that? She would spank the president. He was not being... Oh, wait. Trump is an F, a Biden is the D, and Wallace is a B. That's what Eric has to say.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what anybody wanted from Biden because he really couldn't speak. There was not a lot of opportunities, and when he could speak, he had to like deal with his constant, gnawing
Oh,
wolf.
in his ear, like I mean, it's like it was like nails on a chalkboard.
It is.
I was screaming at the TV. I really was screaming at the TV.
I had to get a glass of wine out. I mean, I drink you had 2 glasses. I drink wine for fun. I don't drink it as an escape, but I was literally needing it just to like calm down because I was like, it was like PTSD or something watching this.
Mark sat on the floor in front of the couch like this.
not breathing.
He went into a meditation.
Yeah, you have to kind of meditate to be calm. A lot of questions still here. Have either of you been in interracial relationships?
Yes.
And yes. Let's see. I don't know why. That's always like a common question. I don't know why. Why are women cougars and men considered predators? I don't think men are considered predators. I like men. I actually sometimes enjoy men more than women, to be honest, except for Nancy. But I really do. I don't think men are predators at all. I think there are some men that can be have predatory behavior, but I don't think that I categorize all men as this or all women as this. And not all women are cougars, with my definition, and not all men are pussies.
Fair.
Good evening.
Not all of anybody is anything. So Bryson did ask. He asked a question on my Instagram that about how do you get a woman? I guess Bryson, I'm gonna paraphrase it, but how do you get a woman to just speak her truth? How do you if you're having trouble getting clarity from her, how do you go about really finding out what she's meaning to say or what she means by what she does? Is that, Bryson, is that kind of clear about what you were asking? How do you know if a woman's telling you the truth, basically?
Yeah, that's a tough one, but I guess you have to kind of count on your own intuition. Yeah.
And to the last question here, yes, we did. We both watched the debate with wine on board.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, so Bryson said yes. So Karen, do you want to address that first? How do you know if a woman's telling you the truth?
You don't, to be honest. Unfortunately, it takes a while to really get to know someone and trust them, and so I think you should go in under the assumption that they are, but be prepared that maybe there's going to be some white lies at the minimum and major lies at the maximum. So I just think you just have to kind of assume that you're both exploring each other and take advantage of the little bits of information you get from these people when you're on a Zoom call or a date or wherever you are. Just take note. Take note of your inner red flags. Also, if someone if something doesn't sit right, take note how you feel, because maybe I would trust your intuition. What about you?
I think you need to have a communication skill that knows how to ask for clarification of what somebody, because I think actions always speak louder than words. People, talk is cheap, so people can tell you what they're going to do and what they're going to think, or how they're going to be,
or what you want. They think you want to hear.
Right, but what they're doing really is speaking to their truth, because human beings, just really don't do what they don't want to do. So okay. I would just speak to the action. So I would say, what you're saying is this, but what you're doing is this. Can you please be more specific about what you mean by, if you mean we're friends, what does that mean to you? Can you define that for me more clearly?
I love that.
Ask for clarification. You can't do anything.
Just ask.
So you have to be willing to risk it.
Yes.
And ask for clarification.
And don't assume because you make an ass out of you and me.
Right. And then ask, did the debate alter my voting?
Did the debate alter my voting? No. Are you kidding me? It solidified my if I had 1% of a doubt, which I didn't, it would have solidified it even further. What about you people? Did the debate alter your thoughts? Were you on the fence and it kind of pushed you over in one way or the other? I would love to hear that. I don't think so. I think everybody went in there with like, I'm this supporter, I'm this supporter. And if you were a Trump supporter, you're like, oh yeah, he's a macho man. He knows how to put people in their place. And if you're a Biden supporter, you're like,
no, I haven't been. I think the Trump supporters have been pretty damn quiet. They're a little embarrassed. Honestly, I think that
they're not embarrassed on my TikTok wall. They're not embarrassed.
No.
No.
How the fuck do you defend that?
I tried my best. Go to my TikTok, Karen Lee Potter on TikTok. I did a duet with a guy who actually said that he was always a big Trump supporter and he had a MAGA hat and everything. And he took it off, and I was like, yay! It's like got 3,000 views, and people are like, Trump 2020. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you kidding me? And they're like, no. I'm like, why? I have reasons. And then some of them, I said, but he's like a dictator. Well, you don't know what a dictator is. And then someone said, you're just a cougar who doesn't know what she's talking about. And that's when I went crazy. And then I had a response video. But you have to follow the TikTok chain.
Oh, good. I want to see that.
I think Trump pushing Biden's senility really backfired. See, I mean, you're calling it senility, but you know the thing that really makes me upset? He's got a stammer. Stammer is different than being senile. There's a big difference.
Yeah, he's had a stutter since he was a kid.
Right, nothing to do with
about that a lot.
Yeah.
But Trump loves to make fun of people with disabilities.
Yeah, he makes fun of reporters with disabilities. He's just a mean-spirited person, and I don't want to talk about that. Trump is not macho. He's a fucking dandy. Okay? What does that mean? I'd love to know what people on YouTube here and Instagram, if you're from a different country, what do you think about this whole election? And do you have a preference? I know I was talking to someone in Canada, and she said Canadians don't like socialized medicine, so they don't like social. They're not socialists, and they don't want that. So that's why she feels like they are Trump supporters. But I don't know where they're getting.
Biden isn't a socialist. That's
But most people, unfortunately, are ignorant. They don't know, especially if you're from a different country. So.
Well, even Trump is totally confused because he thinks that Biden and Bernie are the same thing. They both start with a B, so they must be the same belief, right?
Oh, another B.
It's like nothing, nowhere ever has Biden said he wanted socialized.
No, he's very moderate about everything. Okay, here. Someone is helping out. We're going backwards now to talk about what the question that Bryson was asking about having someone being genuine. Just lay that pipe right and she'll act right, Bryson, my guy, LOL. So someone thinks that if you know how to fuck, that means that all will be understood and nobody is going to give you bullshit. But I call bullshit on that.
That person must never have had a relationship.
Here's another one from Ireland. We follow the U.S. elections probably closer than our own. More people have views on U.S. politics than Irish. So, Dave from Ireland, what do you think?
Yeah.
What do most people want? Do they want Biden or
Who
they
would you
want?
go for, Dave?
Travis says Biden.
Dave, who should you go for?
Do we have OnlyFans? No. I have Patreon, and so does Nancy. You can go to patreon.com/Karen Lee Potter, or actually it's just Karen Lee. Go to patreon.com/Karen Lee, and you can get my Patreon. And then if you want
Dr. Nancy.
It's Dr. Nancy. It's patreon.com/Dr. Nancy.
So Bryson, as a Bernie supporter, how do you put that all together since he didn't make the ticket? Is Biden a better choice for you than? Is he a little closer to the Bernie camp than Trump is?
Well, is that a leading question? Is that a trick question?
I I mean, for him, I didn't know if that was a better choice.
There's other people here going that picking the lesser of two evils is still picking evil. Why is Biden evil? I don't know what he did that was so evil. I mean,
he's not evil.
He's not evil, but the other guy is evil. The other guy literally is misogynistic. He's a narcissist. He's a misogynistic,
right.
Meaning that he is not.
Biden has literally never done anything bad. He's like the middle of the road, Mr. Grandpa America. He's creeped a few people out because he doesn't understand spatial concepts. But I've looked at hundreds of videos because I was really concerned at first about how they were presenting him touching children. And I made myself watch hundreds of videos of him, and he does that to everybody, men, women. He doesn't understand. He's like this. He really believes that his need for affection, it pulls him close to people, and for some people that's not okay. He's been schooled on that. They've had major conversations with him about you got to understand spatial concepts. So the pandemic has been really good for him.
Yeah,
to learn
to keep away.
Stay away. You know?
I think pandemic has taught a lot of us. Biden's way of acting is that of someone who has been a father, which is good, right? Embracing being fatherly. Right. I think we all need that. When he looked at the camera and talked, I felt like he talked to me. So I'm glad to hear that everybody, or there are people out there that I would really struggle, to be honest. Not that I am pro either. Whether ambivalent to both candidates. I don't know how you can be Dave, you can't be ambivalent in this situation, because it's like saying, I don't want to equate to Hitler, but I say that's the closest thing I can. It's like if Hitler was running against somebody and you didn't like Hitler, and you also didn't like the other candidate, wouldn't you still vote for the other candidate?
He's following Hitler's playbook. I mean, he really is following the playbook
and it's scary to me as someone of a minority in terms of my religion. I don't want him supporting white supremacists when I'm a Jewish person. So it is scary to me that there are people out there that aren't going to try to protect me and my family by thinking that it's okay to elect someone like this. And not only that, we need to do something about our environment right now. Our environment is going to shit. And we're going to not need any money when the whole West Coast falls in the water and the East Coast gets slammed by hurricanes. So we need to do something. All right. Taz would like to change the subject. Sorry, not a political question, but what are you guys' thoughts on polyamory? I think polyamory is great for people who feel that they are polyamorous. I mean, I've never been able to do that, but I'm sure there are people out there that can be polyamorous and live a very fun, healthy life. So what are your thoughts for bringing it up, Taz? Any other people have questions, by the way? If you want, this is your moment of truth here. Hey, tell Dr. Nan, I've been in a relationship for 20 years. Okay, so what are you saying? Let the truth be heard. I must have missed something there. It must have been from an earlier conversation. Yes, Hostel MGTOW, I am a Jewish person and proud of it. Proud Jew over here.
I don't know if we've talked about this, but when I had my DNA tested, for Ancestry.com.
Yes.
I came out about 90% Jewish.
No. Another thing we have in common. Me too. Wait, how did that happen? Because you were adopted, right?
My bio father was like European Jewish descent, and that's where I get my dark complexion and my nose and So
wait, but your mom wasn't. Then how did you become 90%? It just all came from his side.
It was. Yeah, because it's like I got all. There are some there. There's one picture I have of her that I look like her, but she was much shorter, blonde. I just did not get that side of the family. Wow.
But what about your dad? Is he still alive? Have you found him?
I haven't found him.
Oh, hey out there! If your daughter is a Jewish woman in a non-Jewish body, So you were raised Christian?
I mean, my parents tried to raise me Methodist, but I rebelled at 5 and said, I don't believe in
At
this.
5 years old. Why doesn't that surprise me that you would rebel?
At 5 years old, I was so creeped out by Sunday school, I refused to go back. I remember sitting in the hall on my little kid chair, just saying, nope, I'm not going. I'm not going. I don't like it there.
You knew in your heart that this didn't feel right. You needed unfortunate, and you didn't even have
that was the right place.
And you didn't even have a bat mitzvah.
No, I should have had one.
I never had one either. Hello from Chile, Camilo. What is the sentiment about the election in Chile? Was Biden your first choice for a Democratic candidate? To be honest, no, he wasn't. I think I voted for Bloomberg. I voted for the Jew. Oh, actually, there were a few Jews. But yeah, I voted for Bloomberg at the time. But I would have probably thought about Bernie, but I knew that there's too many people that are so fearful of this whole idea of socialism that he wouldn't win. We had to have someone who's going to win. And I think Biden was at least
that's how I felt.
At least scary for people, you know.
I really liked Kamala.
Well, but we've got her now.
And then right. But
so we're okay.
President, but then she got a little angry, and that turned me off a little bit. But it was between her and I really liked Buttigieg. When you listen to him
he was good too. He was good too. Well, you know what? They're both young enough that they each have their opportunity.
And Yang had a lot of. I think he was smart.
Yeah,
oh
but the most important thing is we are not in a typical election where you.
No.
Even so, I got to be honest. Over the years, I voted for many elections. Mostly, I lost because, I voted for Obama. Thank God. And I did not vote for any of the Bushes. And every time there was someone I did not vote for Ronald Reagan. Every time there's someone like that, but I did vote for Clinton. And as you know, I have a little thing with Clinton here. Did you see it?
Do you have a crush on Clinton?
Well, kind of.
A lot of women have. I've heard that he's very charismatic. Oh. He can sweep the. Oh.
That was me. This is when Obama was running for senator of Illinois.
How did I miss that picture? Is that in your office?
It's in my office. Yep. And for those of you who want to see that again, that's me and Bill. Proudly. If that was me and Trump, it would be in the toilet. But that's a good question, though. I'm not that into Bill. I just like he was so charismatic when he spoke, and so did Obama. So both of them were just.
Oh, Obama, as my mother would say, my mother used to say about somebody that she really thought was hot, that he can park his shoes under my bed anytime. For Obama, I have a designated place for Obama's shoes.
You have a place? Is it under your bed? Hi, Red Hydra 888. I would like to also say something about Filipino people. I know this is a complete digression, but Red Hydra 888 knows what I'm talking about. I love the Filipinos. They are. I've been doing a lot of TikTok videos. I stumbled upon their songs. Started doing it on TikTok. So many wonderful, wonderful people are on there saying the nicest, most supportive things. They're so respectful of older people, and they're so appreciative of when I try to embrace their culture and their music. And I just want to say they're doing something right over there. That's what I got to say about the Filipino people. It's something that I haven't seen the same respect here. Although today we're getting a lot of respect. Do you know Nazi is short from National Socialist Party, right? I did not know that. ECWNWWF. Thank you for sharing that. They might have
started off that way, but they didn't end that way.
Well, they're just basically saying that I think, I've been watching Peaky Blinders, and they're showing the rise of fascism. And it did, I think you're right, it did start out with socialism. And And I don't have, I mean, I think we do need some practices of socialism, but I don't think I would want to have, I wouldn't want to lose our democracy for sure. Lewinsky,
So Brady wants to know about how our birthdays were.
Oh, we had fun on our birthdays. Both of us are like 2 days apart on our birthdays. We were able to share it together. I think was it only last Thursday? Wait, when did we do that?
2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm still celebrating my birthday. I don't know about you. I'm still celebrating my birthday. It has not ended. It goes on for another 6 months, and then I prepare for the next birthday.
It's either pre-birthday, birthday, or post-birthday.
It's always a birthday somewhere. Do you have booty calls? Says Alex. Do you have any booty calls? I don't have any currently, but I've done booty calls. Oh, wait. Who is CIYOU3SS that says, enjoy your cats and wine, biatches? What the fuck does that mean, biatches? I always thought biatches was like a little funny little term, but apparently it's being negative. Oh, yeah, he's a Trumpster, Trump 2020. Oh, Trump 2020.
Shove that Trump right up his ass.
All right, I'm going to give him his day in the sun here. Trump 2020 guy, CIYOUI3SS. On TikTok, I literally ask Trump supporters, what do they see in him? What do you like about him? Is it that he's a kind-hearted person and it hasn't come out yet? Have you read any of the books that have been written about him? From like his, I'm asking him.
Never in his life, never. It has not ever come out.
That's what I'm saying. So is there something?
Nobody who's known him.
Someone who is saying Trump 2020. I want to give you your time here to say what it is about Trump that you find so appealing and why you'd want him as your president. I don't mean to be snarky. I just want to know. So Lewinsky, or you had the affair? I never had an affair with him. If you had a Trump pic in the toilet, he would have liked it. Trump is a piss drinker. Very, very clever there, G. Fucking Blinders, fucking by order of the Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders is such a fucking great show. I just can't even handle it. Anyway, apparently you two have given better debates than the ones from last night. Thank you, Brady.
Well, that's a low bar. That's a low bar.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. Do you believe that America is run by Satanists and Luciferians, Karen? No, I do not believe such a thing. And that's the reason I have hope for us. I have hope that we can vote this guy out. I make calls for him, for Biden. I make calls for the Democratic Party. As a woman, I find it offensive that I would not, that I'd have to give up my right to choose what to do with my body. There are so many reasons I want to have him and his little party out of there. The good old boys club has got to be disbanded. That's what I got to say.
The fact that Trump had the audacity in probably his most honest moment we have ever seen, he basically told the Proud Boys to stand by.
Stand by.
They have come forward. They came forward right after that and thanked him for his endorsement.
Of course, because he basically endorsed white supremacy. I'm surprised he didn't support. If they ask him if he supports the Ku Klux Klan, he probably said yes. Here's what David Bowman says. I'm not voting for Joe Biden. I don't want to see him in the White House because he'll shut down the whole country. I'd rather see Trump in office for another 4 years.
Joe Biden is not going to shut the fucking country down.
Where would that? Of course he shouldn't.
Yeah. He's never said that. That was taken out of context. Somebody asked him if the scientists came to him and said, listen, you need to shut the country down because this is going to kill everybody. Joe Biden said, I would listen to the scientists.
Wow, this is frightening. Electric Frasium says, here in Florida, there are stands with stand back and stand by shirts everywhere. It's scary.
Whoa.
It's very scary. Trump and his supporters have in common is that they all are fucking ignorant and racist. Fuck all of them. couldn't have said it better. EDDC10. I'm just reading what I'm just reading it. I mean, I didn't say it, but I'm kind of happy that you did. I won't lie about that. Trump is going after child trafficking rings is a bad thing. Yeah.
Trump isn't going after child trafficking rings at all. He doesn't give a shit about child trafficking rings.
If you could have children, would you have another child by your new husband or boyfriend? No, George, I'm kind of done with that phase of my life. I've been done with that for a while. But Donald Trump has the IQ of a bowl of potato chips. Hostile MGTOW. It's one of the only times I've agreed with you. Does a woman's sex drive?
Here's a question for us. Does a woman's sex drive increase more as she gets older?
I don't think it's age related. I think it has to do with passages in your life, where you are and what you're doing. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that as we mature, and get more confident, we
you broke up there.
Free to express it.
You broke up a little, so I don't know if they heard you say that. But as you get mature and more confident,
you become more open to your own sexuality and you're more free to express it. But I think during the phase of life where you have small children, that's a real boner killer.
All right, I'm not gonna dispute that at all. That's why I said there's passages there's time and passages in your life that sex is like the only thing you think about, and then there's time and passages in your life when sex is the last thing you want to do. And so Brady, I live in Florida, down the street from my house. There is a vandalism post sign up between Biden and Trump supporters. Are they pulling the signs up or down? My friend had a Biden sign on her front lawn that she waited for a while to get, and then she said someone stole it. So you don't know if they're stealing because they don't want to get anybody excited about Biden, or if they just want to use it on their own lawn. Do you believe the mainstream media tells you what you need to know? And have you ever heard of Operation Mockingbird? I have heard of it, but tell me about it again. And do I believe the mainstream media tells you what to... I know that there's certain news channels that are pretty much dominated by Donald Trump and his cronies, like Fox News, sometimes even CNN News. And that's what scares me too. When you have the government not only taking an active role in every facet of politics, they're also taking over your TV and your newspapers and your media. That's really scary. That is what the fascists did during the Nazi regime. So we have to stand up to this.
I think every news outlet, whatever is being said, needs to be fact checked. And there's numerous fact checking sources that are neutral. And before I repost anything, I fact check things.
Yeah.
And I look for consistency. So if somebody says this is false and somebody said this is negative, I don't believe either one. So then I will go to other sources to see if I can find, because there's usually a blend of truth.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it could be hard at times to watch a lot of the Fox News. Every time I tell my mom she's watching Fox News, I'm like, please turn that down. I'm going to be ill. This Austin asks, are you proud of if someone refers to you as a MILF or a cougar? We've been asked that question before. I think both of us are not really into the whole MILF thing. It's just not what I want to be thought of. That's very objectifying. Whereas cougar is more of the personality. It's more of cougar doesn't matter what age you are really, as long as you got to be a certain age. But to me, it embodies like a very strong, confident, independent woman, rather than just someone you want to bang. Huge dink Walmart computer baby, are you in love? This is we got Mr. Bean over here. I'm not sure what the hell you're saying, but please clarify. We need some clarification.
I think their Google Translate's not working well for them.
No, he's up in Maine. It's just Maine. It's just Mr. Bean. Gregory said, I think Biden is more respectful to women. You think? You think? I think so too.
He's actually passed a lot of laws that are for equal rights and supporting women's movements. And
yeah, we have to, I mean, really, for our kids and grandkids especially, we've got to get, excessive. We have to be able to access birth control, and we have to be able to access abortions. If we don't have those rights, there's going to be a lot of unwanted children out there, and we're going to have a lot of problems.
And or girls dying, like there
or
were
women that
Roe v.
or
Wade.
women that are going to die making self-induced abortions or backdoor alien abortions, and I've seen too much and read too much to want to go back that way.
Yeah.
You want to read that?
Okay. I'm not in the dating world, but thank you anyway.
Okay.
But you're welcome to join one of my events and come to my courses.
Yeah.
I would love to have you there.
Alex King says, what age do cougars tend to go for? How about after a bottle of wine? It depends on the wine. Okay. I'm just kidding.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
And
I'm
where
just
we're
kidding.
drinking the wine.
And where is the wine in Valley? No, actually, that is it. I joke about that, but literally, when I was single, I had the opportunities to go out with very wealthy guys, and I found that they were extremely controlling. So it's like I've been with my friend, and she was dating a wealthy guy, and it was really a struggle for her to see me with having fun with who I'm with, while she was like having to entertain this older guy. But so money is not definitely the thing that drives an older woman, at least for me.
Brady, I think are you a patron on my Patreon? Because if you are, I will put up that article on my Patreon account.
Patreon.com/Dr. Nancy.
Yeah. Because there's a great article that I've added to for single men in the lifestyle. So that how to enter, and it's really a great article for single men in the world.
And the lifestyle you're talking about is the alternative lifestyle.
The more open relationship lifestyle.
Got it.
Yeah.
Why is it more common on U.S. websites or content creators to talk about dating mature women than other places? Luis, I don't know. I don't know. There's some places I've talked to people that, like in Argentina, where they almost everywhere there is a preference many times for old women, but they are scared to talk about it because of the family and the culture and everything. So it really depends on where you are. Maybe people are more open in general, and in Europe, I think, especially in France, they don't have a problem dating older. Look at Macron. Macron, yes, the prime minister. He's dating someone much older. Or he's married to someone.
It's patreon.com/DRNANCY, Dr. Nancy.
Patreon. So, Mr. Bean, I have a floor dragger. Would women love me more? What the heck is a floor dragger?
No.
What is a floor dragger?
It's a huge cock.
A what?
A huge cock.
Oh.
Huge cock.
I told you, that's why there's sheep out there in Maine. Okay, stick with your sheep.
How many times do you want me to say it?
Stick with the sheep if you've got a floor dragger. They like it better, or horses.
That's not I feel bad. They make pessaries. They're called pessaries. That it's like a donut that goes around your penis so that you don't perforate a woman's uterus.
Okay.
So get that.
Would the two of you prefer being with younger men or older men when it comes to the bedroom? Neither one of us are going to say that we prefer one or the other. It's just who we are with and who we are attracted to at the time. I mean, I don't think you can say a preference. Do you have a preference?
I prefer somebody that I totally am into and is into me to the same degree.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Excited about exploring each other.
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh, we got Wolverine from France. We'd like to know what is the sentiment in France about the United States election? What's going on over there? Any ideas of who the general population wants to win? Just we're taking a poll. I mean, and by the way, if you're on YouTube and Instagram and you are from a different country, let us know what people are thinking, because it's the only way we can share some information literally that is honest. It's not bought. Big city Apple, we prefer money. What are you talking about? Let's see. Mr. Pirate Brain in the house. Long time no see. I used to live in Buenos Aires, and my wife at the time was 15 years older than me. See, there you go. There's a preference there. Okay, where were we? MGTOW, hostile MGTOW. The United Snakes of America is about to come under the divine chastisement of God.
Oh, dear God.
Okay. If you like listening to erotica over porn, there is a wonderful, and here I'm going to, our sponsor for Sex Talk with My Mom. It's called dipsystories.com. And I'm going to give you a code, and it's free for a month. Let me get you the code. Where is it? Okay, it's code MOM. So, DIPSEA, dip. Did I spell it wrong? Okay.
SEA?
No, Dipsy. Okay. All right. So if you want a free month of really interesting audio porn, very sexy, done by actors. It's not like someone reading porn. It's actually like you're immersed in it. It's called DIPSEA, Dipsy Stories, STORIES.com. You get a 30-day free trial, and you can use code MOM and get that free for 30 days, dipsystories.com. I have already had my membership, and I can say that it's very erotic. That's what I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Or you could go to 1-800-Mr. Bean and hear about fucking sheep in Maine.
I think for men that are trying to get away from having to use porn for pleasure, that want to get more into their own imaginations and they're a little bit more in touch with the sensuality, those kind of things are great tools. And also women. A better lover.
Yes. They also have, they have a section of teaching people how to explore the body, and especially in your genital areas. And it teaches you basically how to pleasure yourself and pleasure others. So it's I think it's called Dipsy Story. I'll put it down here.
That's why all these people need to come to my retreats, because I teach these classes. They're hands-on play shops about pleasure and sensuality and touch, and teach them all about our genitals and our sexual anatomy and the erotic mind connecting to the erotic body and all that stuff. So, come on down.
Come on down. So here's another thing. Another question. What are you wearing? Well, I was trying to get into yoga today, and I had my yoga gear on all day, and didn't make it for more than 10 minutes because I had too much other things going on, that like TikTok. I had to have my TikTok fight this morning. Anyway, we only got a few more minutes, so if you guys got questions, this is your time. When I say guys, I mean guys and girls, whoever's on right now. This is your time to ask whatever you want, as long as it's respectful. Why is it? Oh, we already did this one. I've had women ask if I had a wife, and I said no, and they asked me if I'm married and have children, and I said no, and I don't want any children. I don't want to get married either, is what I say to them. Well,
is it true?
Yeah. Let's see. There's no pandemic, Mr. Pirate Brain. How are you making out during the pandemic? And Hostile MGTOW says there's no pandemic. It's fake news. It's fake news. Thank you for asking, Mr. Pirate Brain.
Please go volunteer at the hospital, your local hospital, in the emergency room, and you just be there without a mask and all that stuff. Go help take care of people that are coming in with respiratory illnesses. Okay.
I think his name is Hostile MGTOW, so I think he's just trying to be hostile for no apparent reason, other than he likes to be hostile. What's the youngest age you would hook up with? Alex, I'm going to start fining everybody. Okay, you didn't know, but if the next person that asked me that has to put $10 in my Venmo account. Because then literally, read my book, Cougars Guide, no, wrong book. Fuck Games, Date Cougars. You will find out how many times that's asked of me. I think the reason that it's asked so many times is like, you want to know, like, say you're like 19 or 20, you want to know, like, would a woman like me want to have sex with someone as young as you? To be honest with you, I don't think I'd do 19. I mean, it depends on how old, like if I'm 25, 19 would be considered younger, and I would be open to that. But if, I just turned 62 years old. I'm not going to be going with a 19-year-old. It's just too much of an age gap for me, but may not be for you.
Well, and I think there's a difference between just wanting to fuck somebody and wanting to be in some
I think they're going with fuck. They're not beating around the bush. They're not looking to have a long-term relationship. They're just going with fuck.
I mean, a 40-year-old may be interested in fucking a 19-year-old.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's about as far as it's going to go. And honestly, to be intimate with anybody that's not an adult, because really 21, you can't go for a drink. You can't even go for a drink.
Things, it's like, no on the lesbian. Unfortunately, it would make my life a lot easier. Just kidding. Under 19 and no.
That's a lot of possibilities.
Under 19 and no dick pics. Get it right. I'm not sure what that means, Mr. Bean, but I'm sure you know what that means. You're 62. I'm 62 proud. I just turned 62 like last week. I'm a 49-year-old man, and I dated a 22-year-old woman. Cool. Hostile MGTOW, how old are you? And why can't I get you to switch that name to something nice and positive? I honestly think that you'll get a lot more of what you want in life, not just women, if you change your name from Hostile MGTOW to something more delightful.
I think that person's just out there looking for a fight.
No, he has this thing. He sometimes is, and right now he seems to be agreeing with me, so I'm being good to him. I always have older women. I'm 32, and all women are over 48, and I love that. Yeah, Bernard, that it is a preference for a lot of people, and I could see why. There's a lot of reasons in my book. My book is over there. I'm not going to look at it right now, but if you go to Amazon.com and search "Fuck Games Date Cougars," it's F***K Games Date Cougars, you will find my book, and you will find out why there are a lot of reasons why younger men prefer older women.
I feel like in my 40s, I just started waking up, and the closer I got to 50, the more awake I got, and I had an awakening at about 48 years old. It was
Me too. I was 48 as well. 48 was a magic number. And by the way, women reach their sexual peak much later in life than men do. So there's another reason that's so attractive. My name will be Hunky Love Beast with a Floor Dragger. Okay, thank you, Mr. Bean. Oh, Bryson asked a question. Yeah, I got it.
I can't look at those.
I got it. I got it. The question is, what body language gives off that you're not single? This. Anytime you see someone with their hands across their chest, or when they're talking on the phone instead of looking around the room. If they're ignoring you, if you're talking to them and they're looking over your shoulder. Anytime someone's being rude to you, that's body language that they're not interested in you. I hope he was asking if we're not interested versus we're interested. The opposite is true if they're interested. You froze, Nance.
I don't know why I have nothing going here.
Well, we got 2 more minutes, so Instagram's going to shut us off anyway. So you guys, this has been a rocking and rolling interesting Instagram and YouTube live. I hope you guys enjoy yourself. If you have more questions for either of us, go to our Patreon pages.
Next week, we might be doing this together on Wednesday. So, but we'll be live in person with each other.
Thanks.
So check in.
6 feet apart, of course. Socially distanced.
Well,
or maybe with a mask on. But we're very careful.
But check in with us next week.
Okay.
And see what we're doing.
Yeah, and if you haven't already done so, join us on we each have Patreon pages. And Patreon is really not like something, I think of my Patreon page is just a way that you can support these live streams and these interactions, like all the stuff I do on TikTok and Instagram posts and YouTube and Twitter and any social media. I'm working hard all the time. And so when you go to Patreon, you're like, oh, well, I'm not getting all this great stuff. It's not to get more stuff. It's really to support what I'm doing and what Dr. Nancy's doing, because we do not get paid in other ways.
I'm counseling people at 50% the cost right now during COVID. So
if you want counseling, she does that too.
So I've had 15 or 20 new clients in the last couple of weeks. So I'm having to make space for them in my schedule. And these are people that are going to need ongoing counseling. I'm doing it at half the cost. So anytime you support us in any way, even a few bucks, it helps us know that what we do has value to you. And that's really what we need to know.
So I'm going to put it down here. It's patreon.com. And then you just go to either myself, Karen Lee, or Dr. Nancy, preferably both. And
we love you for it.
And we really do. We really love our patrons. Our patrons are our family. We really feel like they've been supporting me for years. Nancy just got her Patreon page, but I've had a Patreon page for years. And I've had some wonderful people come and go throughout it. And a lot of you have been my really loyal friends. So keep doing it.
And we really listen to you. Like if you say hey, I would love for you to post this or that kind of thing. We're gonna listen to you because you have our ear. And
you have the capability then of messaging us. Like I just put a post out today to my patrons saying, is there anything that you want to talk about personally? This is a place to do it. So I can talk to them, all my patrons, anytime, anywhere. So one more question. Alex says, I'm 35. I've always been attracted to older women. And even when I was old enough to date, the reason why I like older women is because they are straightforward, use you and abuse you sexually mostly. That's a good reason as any. Anyway, that's about it, folks. Oh, we got the little kitty. Look at that beautiful little Yin. She's so beautiful.
Yin came by to say hi.
She is so precious. You guys on YouTube can't see. You can't see Dr. Nancy's pussy, but she's got a beautiful little pussy here, a black and white one.
Yeah, and she has her own Instagram account, Yin Kitty 2020.
Yin Kitty 2020. If anyone wants to see pictures of little Yin of Dr. Nancy's pussy, go to Yin Kitty 2020. And
I share my pussy with the world.
She's sharing her pussy with everyone now. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry we're not going to be able to answer the rest of these questions on YouTube and Instagram, but go to our Patreon pages or just put the questions on ice and wait till next week. We'll answer them then.
Sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for all your love.
Love you too, Ashley.
Love you right back.
Bye.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Love you guys. Bye.